Hey guys, welcome back to Sabers Forever. I'm John, and today I have something for you. I think your father would have wanted you to have this when you were old enough. This is the Graflex of your dreams. It is a Folmer vintage Graflex. I am super thrilled to be able to add this to my collection. I have converted it fully, and I am here to show you exactly what I did. So without further ado, why don't we just jump right in and I'll show you exactly what's going on. So yes, this is a real Folmer vintage Graflex. What does that mean? Well, just real quickly, I guess to overview, it would be a nice little lesson to go over Folmer just a little bit, or Graflex, the corporation. They were originally founded in 1887, and without getting into too much detail, around 1945, Folmer Graflex Corporation changed its name simply to Graflex Incorporated. And so around 1940, I guess, maybe a little bit earlier, to 1946, they no longer said Folmer on the bottom can. So let's focus up. And you can see on the bottom here of my can that it says the Folmer Graflex Corporation. And then right here you can see number, and then there's a serial number. They're all the same once it's got a patent number. But you could get these even earlier, the 3-cell, where they don't have the patent. It'll say New York on here, Folmer Graflex, without the patent. So this is a Folmer Graflex with the patent on here, the patent number, and that dates it to sometime around 1945. I would say the last year it could be is 1946, so I would date it as late as I could just out of fairness. I am not an expert by any means on Graflex flash cells. I am just a fan, an enthusiast, just like yourself, that has done, I guess, mild research over the span of a few years, and got really lucky befriending people that have done far more research than I, and the internet exists, so it made my findings even easier. So let's get into this. This is an eBay purchase. I found this on eBay, and it was a great price. Well, it wasn't advertised at a great price, but I was able to talk the owner down to a reasonable price, and they shipped it. It showed up. It was an unfinished flash cell, and if you don't know what they look like, I will throughout this video be putting up some just stills of parts where you can actually see what they really look like in real world use. So this is a flash cell, which would be mounted originally onto the side of a Graflex camera, and the clamp here actually grabbed onto the side of the camera, which had a metal rail. And so this bubble strip was an addition from the Star Wars prop department, and they used these Exactra 19 or Exactra 20 calculator bubble strips. And what these were used for were to magnify the numbers or the LEDs, which would make numbers, underneath of these little bubbles, and then it would enlarge the actual number for you to be able to read it on the calculator. It was just a regular calculator, but this was basically the screen. And these are highly coveted. This one is a replica by Wanawanga. All of my accessories that did not come from the Graflex company, they're all replica parts, but that's okay with me. I don't need it to be super duper accurate. Maybe one day I'll get an Exactra calculator, but I don't know if I would actually harvest it for the bubble strip, because this is pretty great. Roy does an amazing job. Also, I sent out to Roy the side of my clamp bar, which you can see on here has a number, which was discovered that this is actually an RAF number, a Royal Air Force. So the British were using these Graflex flash cells, which were manufactured in New York. I guess prices were good. So the prop for the Hero A New Hope was stamped with this RAF code 114A/63. And whatever that, it was just a designated number for the part. And when they discovered the flash cell, it had already been stamped. So I was serious about modding this because I wanted, and everything I did is permanent, and except for the tracks. So let's talk about the tracks next. The tracks were discovered, I believe, to be drawer tracks. So these would be put on the inside of where a drawer would go, and then you would slide a drawer on top of these tracks here. So that's why they're that T shape, you can see, and a drawer would sit on there and just slide on back and forth. It was better than it sliding on wood or itself. So that's what I think those were used for originally. I believe that is my understanding. And then there's these are also supplied by Wanawanga. These are extruded, very accurate. I absolutely love the feel of these. It's just how I would imagine. But then also it was discovered that there are these weird rivets, some like 2 and 3 millimeter rivets underneath and in line with the D-ring rivets. So you can actually see here that they kind of sit in that area. And it can only be assumed, but people believe that because this D-ring was, bouncing around on Mark Hamill's hip a lot, that maybe the rivets got ripped out and they needed something underneath to actually support the D-ring. And so that they riveted in something like another metal surface inside for the D-ring clamp to be riveted back onto, thus making it a little bit more sturdy. Now this only, it's only hanging on a display stand. I don't imagine, I'm never wearing this out. The replicas are too good, and I don't know if I'm actually going to install this, maybe one day, but for now it's not installed with any electronics. This is just empty. You can see the rust in there, and you can see the rivets, which is fun, I guess. But yeah, that's kind of showing off that this is a real vintage piece. So let's see what else. All right, so the D-ring had been discovered also, the holder for it, to be kind of like a mangled shape. It looks like somebody cut it and then, used a hand tool, and then this was probably too long, and so this wasn't moving anymore. It was like kind of stuck probably in a certain position, and so then they cut this piece to allow it to, So these are findings of other people, not myself. Just there's some really great information out there that you can do some research on using the RPF forum, and also on Wanawanga's website there is the complete lightsaber prop guide. It has all of the props that you could possibly want to know anything about, and it gives as much detailed information as we can possibly find using photos, of either set promotional photos or screenshots captured from, enhanced Blu-ray editions or behind the scenes stuff. Let's see. So what else makes this actually a Folmer? I kind of digressed to the replica stuff, but the glass eye here has a very distinct shape. So before they became Graflex Incorporated, they had this, I think it's a 45-degree angle just straight down to the glass eye. And so that's very distinct. And when they switched over to Graflex Incorporated, they kind of rounded it a little bit, which people are used to seeing on the Empire Strikes Back version. The actual, here's another thing that makes it a little unique, is the bunny ears here. This makes no difference really, but Folmers, I guess, have been discovered to have this brass pin right there and a little hole right there, where the Graflex Incorporated one has like 3 notches in here and no No, oh, I'm way off camera. And no brass pin right here. So there's like some tells that can reassure you that you're getting a vintage. Something else that I found online, Zimmer Labs pointed this out, which I thought was kind of cool. But the Graflex, the vintage Graflex, if you can see in the light, as it bends on the body, you can tell that there's like fingers coming off where the Graflex clamp was bent. And it deformed the actual clamp section a little bit. So the light kind of bends off of it. Whereas if you looked at a replica, they're finished a little bit nicer, where it's still round and it's not deformed at all. So another tell that it's a vintage, you can see it right there, you know, in the light. And then maybe on this side. Yeah. So some of the corners, some are worse than others. You know, I mean, quality control was a thing still, but yeah, I'm sure that they let some stuff slide. Now, mine is not pristine. I have this like blemish of light. You can see brass lightly through the chromium finish, but you know, whatever. It shows some wear. It's obviously old. And then the brass button. I'm sorry, the red button here under the bunny ears. The A New Hope version has this fully knurled section along with the ridges on the glass eye here. So there's, you know, a lot of tells just that you can look for. So that basically covers a lot of this hilt. I really, like, these rivets are really riveted in here, and according to the schematics that Wanawanga drew up, you know, this one on the edge here is kind of on an angle. So I went balls to the wall. I didn't shy away from the edge there at all. I'm super happy with how it turned out. And as far as we know, I mean, this is accurate. You know, maybe you don't like some of the eyesores, but you get to kind of make like this, the belt clip, or the D-ring, I mean, like that is an eyesore. It is weird looking, but it kind of tells a little story. And I think that Star Wars is built around telling stories. And just alone from the RAF code, the Exactra bubble strip, I mean, this clamp also is normally displayed up like this. That drives me crazy. I literally, I can't do it. Like if you look at watch the movie, when you see it on his belt briefly, I mean, this has the least screen time out of any Graflex, the A New Hope version. But man, the actual clamp lever was always displayed out, like it was open partially like this. And whether that be because it was broken or that's just how they wanted it, I don't know. But there are also scenes where it's tucked in, and so I just think this one is free range. Obviously, it's easy to move in and out. Whoever wants to see it a certain way can just move it there, but to me, I just can't deal with it. I usually keep the lever down. This is an absolute dream to have found a piece this nice, and I'm super happy to have this in my collection. So you'll be able to see it in the set. Let's wrap the video up. That was a lot longer than I thought it would be. Alright guys, that does it for this video. If you like what you see and you want to see more, make sure to like and subscribe to see more awesome content. Probably not like this. This was definitely a rare case. But if you're looking for any work, install work, obviously I'm willing to convert vintage Graflexes, or anything of the sort, you can look me up on my website at sabersforever.com or email me with any questions at john@sabersforever.com. Until the next time, guys, may the Force be with you.